I thought it was going to play the intro. This has been a week. Wait, I got a meme for that. We made it to Friday, everybody. Yay!
Oh, man.
Yeah, it didn't play the intro. Anyway, I don't know. I could probably try to figure it out, but I don't know that I can. Let's see if I can. Intro video. I don't think I can. I don't want to mess it up. This has been a week, you guys. I was sick. My life sucks. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys are here with me. Okay, so I am Molly Sleuth. I used to look like that, and then I looked like that, and now I look like this. So that's my story. Randy.
Yes,
I'm sure you don't have Amish screen sharing like I do. Tell us your story.
Randy Agard, former Marine, ex-LAPD, current truth-telling person. Missed you guys in the chat, especially last week. We didn't know the chat was going on. Also, good news for you people in the chat. You are winning. You are winning. I know it's been a sad last 2 weeks, but you are winning. That's all.
I like how we just automatically share a brain and that we just both wore our little red and white today.
Right.
Chris didn't get the memo. Chris, come on.
Chris, what are you doing?
It's fine.
I'm always last to know.
Randy and I share a brain. We've been friends for so long. All right, Chris, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Chris Leland. I was formerly a roofer for many years. I just kind of do menial tasks and that kind of thing. Nothing real important.
Wow, humble.
Yeah. I mean, if I did something important, maybe I'd brag about it, but nothing noteworthy.
You do a lot of things. Probably none that you want to admit. But actually, Chris and I are friends in real life. Not that Randy and I weren't, but Randy, you live in another state now, and you don't love me because you won't come to Michigan. So, baby's got a new sitter. But okay, this whole topic tonight about the Freemasons kind of started for me because I bought this house. It's over 100 years old in Michigan, and I'm going to see how I can pull this up. You know, my Amish street cred is like smoking right now. Okay, so how do I bring up this first one? So do I add it to the stage?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, it worked. Okay, so my old house, and I'll show you guys my murder basement in a minute. But so this is a plaque. I have 3 flagpoles on my property. We'll get into the number 33 and 3 and 5, 7 and all that stuff. But it's clearly a Masonic plaque. So it's got the G and the compass and the level, I guess. And it's right in front of this weird thing, which I was told was a barbecue. Let me see if I can add that. It's right. Okay, so there's the bottom of one of the flagpoles. And then they said it was a barbecue. But it's like this weird altar because it's like flat on the top. So ignore the giant frog. I found that in the move. The old people that gave me their house left this for me. And they said it was a barbecue. But how are you barbecuing? There's no grill. There's just a bowl to collect the blood. What the hell is going on here with this weird altar? So it's totally bizarre. I don't know if I showed you that, Chris, but this is huge. It's probably 7 feet long and maybe 3-4 feet. Well, that surface was probably 3 feet. And then I wanted to show one other picture while I'm figuring my life out. And that is a park that I drive through. Well, don't drive. I ride my bike. And there's my bike for scale, my punk rock spiderweb bike. And huge G. So you can see again that is what you're looking at there, even though that's a real shitty one. So this park, the center of the park has this giant Masonic G, and we'll get into that symbolism and all that stuff. So just kind of weird. And yeah, so the plaque, so it's really worn, but it's kind of more like that. And like you can see it in oblique lighting. I just took a picture of it a few minutes ago, and that's the best you're going to get. So anyway, this whole thing was like, oh, weird. Okay, now I'll show you the basement, and then we'll get into this whole chaos. And Chris, I'll let you cook. So it's an old house. The people that I bought it from owned it for 1,000 years. Nice little couple. But the basement is all red shag. And I'm like, they don't strike me as swingers. And he said he bought this place with red shag everywhere. So, I mean, were they killing people here? Like vampires, swingers? Like, I don't really know. But like in rehabbing the whole house, this is like the one room I haven't touched yet. I have plans. Okay, so I'm just going to show it to you. And I hope you took a Dramamine because, yeah. So it starts with this rather large altar situation that's going on here. Let me zoom out. It's a quote-unquote dry bar. I like the one lone chair there. It reminds me of The Shining when he goes to get the drink by himself. And so it had a bunch of mirrors behind it. That's a fake brick wall there. But I can tell you that up there where the fake brick wall meets the ceiling, there are little tufts of red shag that somehow there was shag up in the ceiling. There's shag on the bar. The whole floor is shag. All right, now let me see. Okay. Let me get up. Okay, so then there's like a little, I don't know what they use this for. I made a little seating area here. And then that goes back to utilities and all that good stuff. I just put my skulls out because I have a sense of humor about my life. And, you know, fireplace, the stairs to get out, more red shag. And then this is maybe like so there's utilities, there's the bathroom, utilities. And then there's this weird shag bench that's here. I don't know if it's like the cuck bench where you like sit and watch your family.
Notice the TV. Everybody noticed the TV.
Oh, yeah.
That was a weird aspect about Molly's house.
What's a weird aspect?
It was all like CCTV. Like you had to watch whatever was playing on the TV upstairs was playing on every TV.
Well, they left this TV.
That's some weird stuff, man.
They left that TV for me. And then the old lady left her sewing desk, which I'm very, very grateful for. And then there's some like locked weird closets, which now have my coats in them. And so that's basically the room. So yes, there were TVs and mirrors everywhere in this house, so many of them. But he told me, he's like, I'm going to leave that TV for you, but it only plays whatever the TV upstairs is playing. So I don't know how that works. I don't own a TV. Well, I guess now I own a TV. I've never turned it on. I don't know if there's a remote to it. I don't know if it's going to explode the moment I plug it in. If it's plugged in, I have no idea. It just sits there and probably monitors me. Anyway, that and the mirrors and the shag and all that stuff. Like I just assumed that this place was a party house. Sorry, I've been sick all week. But then it kind of makes my mind like wonder a little bit of like, what the hell happened in this house? And like, how would you find out if anybody was murdered in your house or impregnated in your house or like what? The only thing I found out about this house was I found a wedding announcement from whatever year this is. and that this lady got married and moved into my house. And she looks like the perfect like bride to be like wandering the hallways at night. I don't know her name. I saw the article, but I just screenshot her. So I guess like you guys know me, but you guys know I am not, I'm not superstitious. I don't believe in ghosts. I love the idea of the Loch Ness Monster, and I love imagination, and I love science, and I love like just thinking that there are other things that we can't explain. But I also don't think that every bump in the night is my grandma coming to leave me a message. So I can't really say that I've ever had any experiences where I've just been like, that's weird. But then when I moved in here, like all this shit started happening. And it first started, I guess I should have written them all down because it blows your mind. And then 5 minutes later, you're doing something else. But it first started with, like, for one, moving sucks. And I had a lot of stuff. And it was a whole process. I was homeless for a couple months this year. Like, it was a whole thing. And I'm a little bit of a hoarder. Well, let's just say collector. I have a lot of shit. And that's why I always know where everything is. Like, I have that mind where everything is sort of organized. And if I need this, then there's only one place for it. And I just started losing stuff that I should have known where it was. Like a can of spray foam. I had like some hole that I could see to the outside world. So I'm like, great, wasps are going to come in my house. And so I bought this can of spray foam, and then it was gone. And I'm like, I know I put it right here in front of the door to that closet, because that's what I was going to do right there. And I looked for it for days. I don't understand. Where could it have gone? Did I accidentally take it to the bathroom? Did I put it in the refrigerator? Like, I'm not even really moved in yet. Why do I have stuff that's missing? And then I'm a little bit jumpy. I was a police officer for many years for the city of Los Angeles, for LAPD. I worked hardcore gangs. I was undercover a year. I lived in a total shithole, which Randy can attest to. I've been a victim of every crime but homicide. So I'm a little bit jumpy, and I hear things at night. I'm not one of those people that like needs to sleep with 75 fans on. I want to hear other planets while I'm sleeping so that I know when I have to murder people. And so all this stuff started happening at night. I was having things fall off the walls, like boom, like things that were totally attached to the wall all of a sudden weren't attached to the wall. And then I'm like coming around corners, like searching everything, going, what the fuck? Who's in my house? And lights are turning on. And then a couple weeks ago, I went pee. It was like 3 a.m. So I'm only gone like 2 minutes. And I walk back up to my bedroom, and I smell the unmistakable scent of somebody lighting a match and blowing it out. And now I have candles going right now. It wasn't the sulfur smell. It was that good smell of the match, where you're like, like not rotten egg sulfur. It was like the good egg or good sulfur or match smell. And I'm a firefighter in Michigan now. So I am touching every outlet, like sniffing out every window. I went all the way upstairs. I have like a 5-story house because it's all split level. I went in every room. I opened windows. I opened the front door, opened the back door. Like, the smell is only in my bedroom where my Virgin Mary collection is, oddly enough. So anyway, I'm not superstitious, but all you guys were like, oh my God. And like, you guys were all kind of freaking out about it. So I guess I'm here tonight to start this adventure. We're going to have somebody on that talks about ghosts and stuff. She's amazing. I hope she says yes. I met her at this big craft, like Wicked Bazaar Halloween fest thing, and she's amazing. And I really, 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 really hope that she comes on to just talk about the ghost part of it. She gave me some advice that I may or may not have followed. But I think it all kind of starts with all this Masonic shit outside and like thinking about this room as some kind of like lodge, or did they host meetings, or was it just like people from the neighborhood fucking each other down here? Like, I don't know. But through this process, I learned something about Randy that I never knew before. Randy.
So my dad was a Freemason, and he will tell you anything about everything. So he was a Vietnam vet, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we got mortared, and I peed in the bunker that they got mortared in." I'm like, "Wow, that's really personal. What was it like being a Freemason? How'd you get into the Freemasons?" So I learned more about the Freemasons talking to Chris right before the show for 3 minutes than with my dad, who is my dad.
How bad do you want to know? All you gotta do is knock on a door. That's pretty much all you gotta do.
Okay, I watched a lot of videos on it. So tell us, what are you talking about when you say all you have to do is knock on the door?
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's what they're waiting for, is for you to go seek them out, and they're not going to come to you.
But if it's a secret society, Chris, then how do you know where to go? Like, how do you know who's a Freemason?
Well, I guess you have to come to that on your own. I guess I'm not
Don't you
sure.
guys wear
They
rings
leave
and
their
stuff?
clues everywhere, so I mean, eventually people get curious once they learn some pattern recognition and start seeing it all the time. They might get a little more interested in it. Want to know. So, and I've had, Masons shake my hand and ask me, there's like a certain phrases that you're supposed to use. And I, of course, failed it because I didn't know what to say. And so I'm familiar with that, So
they're trying to find out if you are one too?
Yes. They'll say something to you and you're supposed to give a response back. There's several depending on your level, and so that kind of identifies you not only as a member but also your status within the organization. So there's also different kind of grips when it comes to shaking your hand, and so
do you know it?
Kind of funny. There's something to that, So,
do you know any of the handshakes?
I know there's like I believe it's called a master's grip, where they sort of grip when they reach in, they grab a hold of the third knuckle or whatever, and they put their thumb down on that, so they're holding their hand in sort of a weird fashion. Or there's the claw, which is kind of like sort of like that. They shake hands in that sort of fashion. Whoa. With a particular way of doing it, and that kind of identifies. We'll let them know how far up the chain you are, because I think that it's by a level, depending on who you are is the handshake that you use. So.
Can you get jobs doing it, Chris?
I know that a lot of people, I would say the bulk of, especially the lower level guys, that's what they're there for, is economic improvement. They want inside a leg up somewhere in business or with a job or something like that. For them, it's financial. So but a few of other people there to learn things, but that's not as many as who are there for business. So.
And Randy, how come you said whoa when he did the handshake like that?
I've seen that handshake before. So I go to meetings with the the VA. So like one of the meetings I go to is like for PTSD or anger management or whatever, harm reduction. And this guy comes in and he's super high and he's just talking about all of I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to be able to tell us all that stuff. And he's like, oh, the handshakes, and I think they wear chains and like rings. Is that right, Chris? Like,
yeah, they have insignia that they wear, maybe on their lapel or a necklace, a ring, lots of other things, tie, something on their tie. To let you know.
Oh yeah, the tie, yeah. Or bumper sticker.
So the chat
many
is
ways,
already,
license plate.
The chat is already roasting me. Rod says the basement is shagadelic. Listen, don't think I'm ever going to walk through here barefoot. Okay.
I think
And
Pammy might be right. You might have a secret room. You might have somebody living inside your walls or something.
you're not kidding, Pammy. And hey, Pammy, I saw your chats from last week. Randy and I totally screwed up. And somehow I didn't see a single live chat. And I was like, sure is quiet out there. Like the chat was going. You guys were all talking. And I missed all of it until the stream ended. So I'm an asshole, as usual. So hi. And it looks like a secret room could be somewhere. So actually, the ye old cuck bench, as Ben is calling it. So that does pop up, and like there's all that space under there. Not enough for me to like hide when the feds come for me, but there is space there. And yeah, so because it has a drop ceiling, like there is a void there as well. And from what I understand, East means a lot in Masonic culture. And so the bar is, if you're sitting at the bar, you're facing north. So I don't know that that's like set up to be Freemason. Also, I just feel like these bricks aren't 100 years old. To me, that seems like 1960s, like probably when the carpet went in. And it is a bar, so it's like a little half circle thing with like a little bar behind it. Sorry. And then this pillar right here, where's my finger? When you go up to the top there, there's shag up there too. And the man that I bought the house from said that this brown door he replaced, that the door that used to be there was all red shag all the way on the door to the to the bathroom.
The shag room.
Red shag. So I'm just not rich, and also I have a pretty good sense of humor, so I'm keeping the red shag. Are you kidding?
So what do these doors go to? Like another universe or perverts?
No. Am I doxing myself? So that's a bathroom. This is the water closet, water main, whatever. The electrical panel. These are just the dead bodies in there that Pammy and I are hiding.
Chris.
Probably just opens up.
Yeah, and then it's got just like a creepy drop ceiling, but there actually is like a little bit of a hidden room back behind the like HVAC area. There is a small room.
Yeah.
Which would be under those stairs in here. So, but I mean, like the house I grew up in did have a secret room. And so all my friends hated me because when we play hide and seek, they could never find me.
Mm-hmm.
I never told any of them. But it did have a secret room. So, but it was like a purposeful secret room. This just kind of has a stupid void. Remember the guy living in the closet from Real Genius? I don't even want to think about that. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't want to think about anybody else in my house.
The movie where he hit the popcorn with the laser or whatever at the end. Is that the movie I'm thinking of? No. What's it?
Oh, no.
Real Genius.
I'm your worst teammate for pop culture stuff.
So... yeah, I just like, I don't know. So if anybody, okay, so we're mostly chatting on the Molly Sleuth channel on Rumble. There's Pammy, always representing YouTube. Hi, Fred. Is it lonely over there? And, but I'm also mollysleuth@gmail.com. But come into the chat if you want to roast me or school me or just tell me about my creepy house. Or if you know Val Kilmer 80s movie. Okay. Or if you know, how do you look up historical records for houses? things like murders and stuff, I think they're supposed to tell you if somebody's died in a house, but this house is over 100 years old. Like, no doubt somebody has died in it. Oh, I did want to show you. One of the things I found, because the people I bought the house from, like, they just sort of like left, and they left a lot of stuff. And I haven't even gone through it. There could be gold doubloons. I could be a billionaire and don't even know. Probably not. I found this really cool wedding photo, which I thought was really cool. And I don't know who it is. Sorry about the glare. But I just thought it was really cool. And I collect Victorian tintypes. I love faces. I just love old people. Look at his face. He has Sanpaku eyes. Maybe we'll get into a story about that. And she looks like she's under duress. But anyway, I thought it was romantic. And I put it on my wall. And I had just like turned a corner. And the house, like, it's really solid house. It's not rickety or anything. So I turned a corner, and it's not like it made the wall flex. And all of a sudden, right in front of my face, boom! This thing, like, not only does it come off of the screw that was hanging from, but it like scrapes the whole wall coming down. And I was like, what the hell? So I guess they don't want to be on the wall. So I find so much pleasure in it, because I am that person in 4th grade that would go to all the sleepovers, and we'd have a Ouija board, and I would be the one going, all right, let's just make it say what I want it to say, because this is getting really boring. So I'm not like a fraidy cat, but it's just, to me, it's fantastically entertaining. They have to tell you about the history if you ask them, but I don't think they have to volunteer that info. Interesting. It was like right after the 94 earthquake in Los Angeles, and a couple of my roommates and I were looking for a place to move, and we found this one place, but it was really expensive. It was off Ventura Boulevard, like Encino-ish area on the south side of the street. I don't remember. It was one of those big ant farm complexes. And they said that they didn't have any vacancies, that they were really expensive. They said that they had one that was going to be deeply discounted, which, of course, now I'm listening. And that they had to tell us that there was a woman's body found in the apartment, in a couple of suitcases. And so, like, I mean, I was a goth girl, so it's not like I care. And so we were like, oh, okay, well, can we see it? Because we want to see, like, the layout. How big's the bedroom? How close is everything? What does the bathroom look like? And so we said, oh, okay. So can we see it? No, you can't go in there. We've got some cleaning, and everything's got to get replaced. So, like, what the hell does it look like right now? The guy looked totally freaked out. And so we didn't end up taking the apartment, not because the woman was killed in it and dismembered into several suitcases, but because, like, well, how close is the bathroom to, like, the kitchen? And, like, that's what I want to know. Anyway. Okay, so with this Masonic thing, I saw a bunch of stuff that was talking about, like, Scottish people. Is it like a Scottish thing? Or, like, then I saw something about, like, Egyptian shit in their Bible. And I'm like, is it a religion? Is this just, like, a moose lodge for dudes that want to, like, belong to, like, a secret club? Or
I think it's a lot of different things to different people. I would classify it as a religion. I would look at it much in the same ways that they have hierarchy and rituals and all that kind of thing, like many other religions had. And it was basically started from religion, but I think a lot of people kind of use it as what you said. Like my grandfather was in the Moose Lodge, and so there's that kind of low level participation in it. And then there's the upper levels that it becomes something much different. I don't think the vast majority of Masons know actually what goes on at the higher levels. At least that's what I'm told, anyways. How true that is, I don't know. But.
And so, is it like Scientology, where you have to like pay for different levels, like pyramid scheme, or you're just like earning through your secrets or something?
My understanding is there is several ways that you can advance. You can go the hard route and earn your way through, which is long and difficult, or you can pay your way through and buy position. And, so they might take you to some like retreat or something, and you'll, essentially cram for the exam real hard for a couple of days with specialists that will tell you everything you need to know and to get you to that next level. So you can kind of buy your way through, but
that's
for most
what we
people,
need to
do. Yeah.
Chris, let's buy your way through to the 33rd Order of the Masonic Lodge. Cash App, Molly Sleuth, all funds will go to Chris Leland making 33rd Freemason, and then you'll do an expose on it. This is what we need.
Chris, why is 33rd called the Scottish Rite?
Well, I'm not exactly clear on why they chose 33. It has a number of different meanings depending on your understanding of it. If for some people they believe it's the number 33 represents the number of fallen angels, the percentage of fallen angels that came to Earth. 1/3 of the angels fell and came to Earth when they were exiled from heaven. But it also has astrological meaning, which is probably more closer to the truth, which is from one sign to the other, there's 33 degrees from one sign to another. So to move from one, say like zodiac sign to another, to transverse all the way through it, it's 33 degrees.
I also read that there are 33 miracles in the Bible and that God is mentioned 33 times in this one section. And so it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Q people, where they're constantly seeing the number 17 everywhere. And it's like, you can't take a shit without being like, oh my God, it looks just like the number 17. This is a sign, 33 vertebrae in the human spine. I don't know if you were the one that lived in that apartment before I was going to rent it, sir, but thank you for that. Apparently, Ben is taking people's spines out.
It has many meanings depending on, and that's why they use it, because they find it in nature. And, like the, what's that one code? I can't remember what it's called, but it's supposed to be the universal code for beauty and everything else.
The Fibonacci.
Yes.
Is it attached to the Illuminati, Chris? Freemasonry?
To me, from an outsider's point of view, it seems all one and the same to me. I think Illuminati is probably just a higher level. There's more levels than 33 degrees in Masonry. For if you know what's even going on, you'll be above 40. It goes into past 100, I think. So,
yeah, they have a lot. It's a lot of numerology and symbols and things. And I was even seeing that. So they have the level, the square, and the plumb is like a big part of it. And that they have 3 steps, then 5 steps, then 7 steps. And the 3 steps are, I think, for that level, plumb, and square. And then the 5 steps are the 5 senses, which is almost sort of like Wiccan to me. And then the next 7 are the 7 there's 7 like sciences or something. 7 liberal arts and sciences: grammar, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. Like those are the Satan's hopscotch.
I know you love our chat.
I'm gonna die. I've been coughing all week, and that is not helping, sir. But I guess these like liberal arts are like things that you're supposed to know everything about. But yeah, maybe just Satan's hopscotch.
It's interesting because Candace Owens is always making the connection between all these people that are in high level government and being in drama class and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah, the theater kids.
Yes, theater kids, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Explain.
Good thing I'm not going anywhere because I was a theater kid. So, because all these guys like Macron and Trudeau, and they were all like theater kids. And so the idea behind them is that they're all they start as theater kids, and then they get like they're part of like the MK Ultra Stanford sort of experiment, and then they become these like world leaders, and hilarity ensues.
On a smaller note, what about the Nick? What do you call them? The Mickey Mouse Club kids? Like they all became huge, like
Yes, that's all.
and then went crazy.
That's part of it. Yeah, the lead into it. Boy Scouts of America was a lead into it. So,
Yeah, but I wasn't a Boy Scout. My brother was, but I was a brownie, and then I was a Girl Scout. Like that's just what you did.
Did you guys do the allegiance thing where you held up two fingers like this and swore your thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and it was we had to bring a quarter.
Little
We had to bring a
Baphomet
quarter
worshiper.
every week. Listen,
What's all the connections, Chris? Like, what's the connections with drama class and music and politics?
I guess the ability to lie to people straight faced and cry at will and that kind of thing. So be able to act. And long time ago in ancient Greece and that type of era, actors and stuff were considered most people didn't trust them because they were considered expert liars because they could fake any emotion that they wanted to. Now we trust them. Now we listen to the celebrities.
Right, now we tell them. Now they tell us who to vote for.
Yeah, everything else. But it's that kind of thing. I would imagine the ability to lie on command, and do so convincingly. I would guess. I don't know.
That's interesting. Randy.
That's me.
That's interesting. Randy and I are going to do a show, I think, on Sunday. Just a quick little something. Just talking about, because I taught lie detection, body language, and interview and interrogation tactics for the department. So basically, criminal conversation skills. And so we kind of wanted to go over Charlie Kirk Shooter's text messages with his boyfriend, because
I'll be covering. Molly will be covering that part. I'll be covering more of the social impact, like
like how you text your boyfriend.
No, just the you said while I text. No, he texts me. I'm not gay. I'm not gay. My husband is. I'll be doing more of the like.
Chris's face. Chris is just like.
You are.
Each his own, I guess.
Yeah, more of the
fascinating.
Like you guys set this precedent for cancel culture. Now you guys are getting canceled, and you're like, what's going on? So Molly's going to be doing more of the
text. I just want to look at the text messages.
Yeah, the text messages.
Anyway, that's derailing. Pammy says, my mom has a Mason book. Need to ask her if she still has it. It literally had so much inside stuff, like multiple different handshakes, etc. I just glanced at it once. Our local Mason lodge closed. Ooh, interesting. Yeah,
their membership is dwindling down to nothing. So I'm pretty sure. It's not like it used to be anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. But also, I don't know. I mean, maybe people just have more purpose in life, or they went underground. Like, who knows? Because to me, it just seems sort of like a fraternity of, hey, we can have these secret handshakes and we'll be at the cool kids club. And like, don't tell anyone about Fight Club. Like, okay, do we fight? Like, no, we just hang out, but like we have handshakes. Like, okay, well, that's kind of stupid. But what I think is
I
really
got a question
interesting,
for
though,
Randy. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
My understanding was in order to get above an E6 or an equivalent in any armed services, you have to be a Mason. Do you know if there's
Really?
any truth to that? Have you heard anything like that?
No, but when I was researching some of this, I think in Britain and over there, I think that does reign true. Like there was like some glass ceiling, and then for you to get above that, you need to be part of something. And I have a question for you, Chris. So skull and crossbones or whatever, like with the CIA and all that stuff, is that all the same stuff, or am I mixing it up?
Skull and Crossbones, I think, was part of like a fraternity at Yale or Harvard or something. I think Bush and Bush Jr. and everybody was part of Skull and Bones. It's like a secret organization or club, maybe. I'm pretty sure it's at Harvard or Yale or something. One of the prestigious schools. I can't remember, but I know that many people are members of Skull and Bones. I can't remember the one interviewer's name, but he asked both John Kerry and George Bush about it at the time, and neither one of them would say a word about Skull and Bones, although they were both members of Skull and Bones. So, like I said, I can only see from the outside. I'm not quite sure. And, they're good at keeping secrets, as you said. They're good.
I think it goes back to what Molly said. Everybody wants to be. So when she and I were cops, everybody wanted to be. Oh, I'm in a specialized unit. Dude, you're a cop. You're freaking awesome, or you're not awesome, or whatever. You don't need extra. I'm not insulting. I mean, just everybody wants to be part of something.
well, yeah, but like with the Boy Scouts, you earn all these little like merit badges kind of within the Masonic culture, and they have these like robes. Like the picture of the three of us for the thumbnail is like, well, I stole it from Grok, but basically it's like they do wear, aprons and all kinds of stuff. This is probably a good time. So they do let girls in too, and my friend was one. So it's called Job's Daughters, and it's for girls that are like 10 to 20, 21, whatever. And so I tried to ask her, but she already knows that I call my basement the Masonic Murder Lodge, so she's not divulging any secrets because she knows. I will tell
We also
her.
have Rainbow Girls, which is also just like
Rainbow Girls.
And the woman's side, as far as I know, is Order of the Eastern Star. That's the woman's lodge for Freemasons.
Right. I heard that the Eastern Star thing was more witchcraft than Girl Scouts. Obviously, I don't know. None of these secret people want to invite me into any of their cool shit.
I'm surprised that both of you being cops were at least in the Blue Lodge. I thought most all cops were.
I never even heard of the Blue Lodge. I've heard of the Blue.
That's where you start on the Scottish Rite side, I believe.
I think that's more of an East Coast thing, like Irish cops, Scottish cops, probably the Northeast, New York, Boston. That's probably more their thing. LA is more. You're just a cop.
York, right?
I don't know if there's any Scottish people in LA.
Oh, the fraternal brotherhood of. Is that what you're referring to?
33 steps, and I think the York Rite is like 12 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure that one. So there's like 2 different paths to the top.
Never even heard of it.
West Coast is a lot looser on the whole brotherhood thing. Yeah.
Randy, we didn't have the Blue Lodge. We just had Blue Falcons.
Explain to him what that is, Molly.
It means a buddy fucker. You don't want any Blue Falcons.
You probably work. Here's one thing when you're working with a Mason, and this will probably be insulting to Masons, but it's the truth. If you guys, and being that you've been in the police force and Randy was in the military, surely you have heard of fuck up, move up. You know what that means? It means like you have done such a horrible job that they advance you to try to make it better. Yeah. I know in your videos that you guys talked about earlier with your one partner, it was just an absolute nightmare. And somehow just seemed to get inexplicably promoted and all that. That's fuck up, move up. That's most likely a Mason. You know, because the ones that I've worked with are, you know, like, you just wonder to yourself, this guy is an absolute nightmare. The customers hate him. He's destroyed several vehicles, and we're a delivery company. You know, like, how the fuck is he not fired? And he comes back with a raise, and you just, why? There must be something to this, but there is. I found it out later, but
we have never found out about that particular partner of Randy's.
I'd bet some money.
There's got to be some photos in a manila envelope someplace. That's all that we can think of, because he wasn't related to anyone.
You don't. Well, you don't necessarily have to. You won't necessarily have a connection that most people know about. That's just their little thing on the side. You know, they see each other at the lodge, and a wink and a nod, and it's taken care of. So, and it don't matter how bad you fuck up.
This guy was too dumb to invite to the lodge. He wouldn't be able to find it.
Hey, the lower levels are full of shitheads. I mean, the base levels of that are just mostly shitheads in there. So.
He knew the secret handshakes, Rod says.
Chris, question for you. So we have what do you call the guys at the port, like the heart, you know, like they unload stuff or whatever, they take off the stuff off the shipping containers. Are those guys Freemason? Say it.
We call them lumpers. I'm not sure. They can be any position you can think of. They can be the janitor to the CEO. It doesn't matter as far as that.
The reason I'm asking you is those guys get paid like $100,000 to $250,000, basically, to move boxes. I mean, they're bringing our stuff in off the ports, but like,
yes, they
how
are.
They
are handed good jobs. Yes, they are. You know, like even if you're like a total shithead and get fired, they'll get you another good job. You know, my experience looking inward, you know, that's what at least it seemed like. You know.
Shit, we all need to be Masons, I guess.
I don't know. I can't swear any else, or I might.
Okay, so I did want to show with my Amish screen sharing. So these Job's daughters, they're like young girls, and there was one like creepy video where the guy was like, "So you're a Job's daughter," and he was like so gross, and he had these like two like sweet little things next to him, and it was really unsettling. Anyway, this is what they have the Job's daughters wear. So they're wearing these like ropes around their robes, and it kind of reminded me of like Japanese shibari, like the Randy, like the Japanese like rope fetish. I don't know. I cut their heads off for a reason. These girls look really young. And like you're putting these ropes like between their breasts to like accentuate them, and like that tie so that you could just, I don't know.
Yeah, they have,
I just look at the world as like pedo stuff.
They do have child bride ceremonies, and they're pretty.
And that fucking kills me, but
I don't think all of them practice that, but definitely when you have an organization that is, you know, secretive like that, you're going to wind up with a clique inside that group that's doing nefarious shit. You know, I'm not necessarily saying everybody that's a Mason is involved in that kind of shit, but there are people who within the organization who do that kind of shit. I mean, I don't know. Chris, I really want to tell you about what my grandfather did to my dad and his siblings, but it was some pretty horrible shit, and it was well organized and had many people involved in it. It was not so.
Chris, they said one of the issues was they would have cops in the organization and they would have criminals in the organization. And Molly doesn't have to tell you, that's a huge conflict of interest. Like I'm in the same club as the guy who likes to rob houses. So
Yeah, they don't
Did you-
they don't care about that.
oh, they don't care.
No. They see you as an asset. If you're that kind of person, they'll utilize your skill set to their advantage.
Yeah, one thing I
And-
found interesting was that they do not talk about religion or politics at the lodge, whatever you want to call it, at the
Masonic temple.
Is it a temple? And actually, the biggest Masonic temple is right here in Detroit. And I went on a virtual tour of the lodge, and they were like, oh, and this is Corinthian leather, and this is mahogany. And it's like, it's wood. Just move on. Like, where's the secrets? Show me the fucking handshakes. They didn't. But one thing I think is interesting, though, is that I was watching this interview of this guy, and his two sons were now Masons. And he said that the proudest day of his life was when his sons became Masons with him. So that's weird, Randy, because you're so close with your dad that why wouldn't your dad want you to be a Mason with him?
Well, my stepmom at the time would ask him, like, where are you going? Well, I can't answer anything. And this guy is Mr. I will tell you anything you ask me and everything. And I didn't know anything at all about Masons.
Well, he's probably
Nothing.
out of the Blue Lodge then. Yeah, he's up high.
Yeah, he was paid well too. Like, we had a house growing up in New York. They'd give me and all my brothers and sisters. This is the '80s. We're each getting $100. I'm like, it's a lot of money. So I don't know. Can't do that now.
Ask him again.
Yeah. Now's a good time to ask him.
Ask
It's like,
him
what's
again.
going on? I knew you were a Fed, son.
Yeah.
Good times.
Okay, and then I guess you can't have a conversation about Freemasons without talking about, George Washington and all the symbolism of Washington, D.C., and how, like, there's supposedly a pentagram, like, made up of the map of the significant locations in Washington, D.C., with the bottom point being the White House, and how supposedly the Capitol building, when they were doing the coronation or setting the cornerstone for this building, that it had an alternate constitution that was put inside this cornerstone. And somehow now that cornerstone is missing. But, like, why do an alternate constitution? Like, wouldn't it just be a copy? What did it say? Why is it missing? I just feel like it's like goth girls that are, like, trying to be so mysterious. And it's like, come on, we all know that your name is Cheryl. Like, just be done with that. Like, I just feel like it's a lot of fake secrets and lore. Or is there anything to that?
Oh, Molly, before Chris answers, you said they weren't allowed to talk about politics, but you would think because so many presidents were Freemasons and you have this giant voter base, wouldn't you want to use that? Like, wouldn't you say, oh, I have 1 million votes if I get my guys to vote whichever way, Democrat or Republican?
Chris, do you want to?
Well, they
Yes,
do
please.
so in a kind of coded way. They can speak without using words. They don't need to come right out and say it. They'll know one way or the other. They'll get support. So. I don't think you can read what's behind me. Maybe I can present that as a. But it's a
Was
quote
it
from Manly
Dave
P. Hall.
Navarro of Freemason? Dave Navarro from fucking Jane's Addiction? A Freemason?
I wouldn't doubt it. Most celebrities are, and even just to get into the one thing, especially if you're going to get beyond a certain earning level, you have to be a part of the group.
I thought Casting Couch did it. I thought casting couch got you beyond a certain level, and I mean male and female.
Not Dave Navarro. He's not hot enough.
Oh, they don't care.
Isn't he the one with the eyebrows? Like he's got the super.
I'm not sure who Dave Navarro is. Actually, I'd have to look. Him up.
I don't know what he was famous for after Jane's Addiction, but he went on to bigger and better things. And Randy, I saw them play at the Palladium. This is like 91 or something. I don't know. And they got written up in the LA Weekly, just a scathing review, because somebody threw a shoe at Perry, the singer, and they were comparing this show to a Cramp show where somebody threw a high heel at Lux Interior and he poured wine in it and he drank out of the shoe and he threw it back in the audience and he kept going. But like Perry had a little temper tantrum and he left the stage and we were like, what? No. And then we were like waiting for him to come back, but he wouldn't come back. He was just like pissy about it. And then Dave Navarro was like, yeah, that's right. I'm leaving too. Like, shut up, you cuck. So he left the stage. And then it was just like Steve on drums and Eric on bass. And Eric Avery was like my everything. I was standing like right in front of him. Like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I got the set list someplace. And I got a pic of his. And then the two of them just started like jamming for a while. And then they were like, yeah, I guess the show's over. And they left. And so basically the LA Weekly said that Jane's Addiction are fucking pussies. So that's my Dave Navarro story. And then, okay, so then Rod says 14 U.S. presidents were Freemasons. I don't know that I knew it was 14, but I knew it was significant. And
It's
that,
more than that.
Oh, was it?
It's the ones they'll admit to.
because it's so secret.
Yeah.
And then Circle of One, listen, why don't you just come on the freaking show? Because you are just like a walking freaking Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah,
and I don't even know how you...
started
who
the
is
Illuminati.
Founding the Illuminati in Bavaria in 1776, same year we're getting started in the U.S. I don't know.
Oh, it ain't a coincidence.
I don't know anything about that, but why don't you come...
Here, I'll mess you up a little bit. What is the New World Order?
I mean,
Butch.
Do you know what it is?
No, what is it?
America is the New World Order. If you look at it from our founding fathers and the men who founded this country in 1776, that's what they called this, was the New World. So the old world was monarchies and, rule by divine right and that kind of thing. And America was the first country to say we're not going to be ruled that way. And so essentially, we're the ones responsible ultimately for the communism and all these other ideals that have toppled monarchies and stuff. America is the New World Order.
Bush said it. I think Obama said it. Who else said NWO? Someone pretty high. Maybe Bush Sr. and Jr. said it. At least one of them.
Yeah, Sr. said it in like 1991 on September 11th, 1991 in the Gulf Crisis speech, I think, that he gave in front of Congress. Numerous times he said the New World Order, we're going to be ruled by a set of laws, not the rule of the jungle, et cetera, that kind of thing. And we have a new chance at this New World Order, or a good chance, or whatever it was that he said. I'm sorry, I'm not good at
Well, people have seen him say it, and they're like, no one's ever said New World Order. Sorry to cut you off, but they're like, no one's ever said that. I'm like, okay. I live in an alternate reality.
Yeah.
I just, Rod will remember New World Order as a Ministry song. He's probably my only,
World Order. Yeah.
Hi, Twisted Sister. Howdy doody, friends. Welcome to the chat. I have some real good Illuminati symbols. We're talking about Freemasons tonight. So that's good. Got some festive one. Oh, geez. Got that one. I have some.
I got to go to the Rumble so I can see them.
Yes. I have some fresh boobies. So there's some boobies for you. Chesticles. That's what I named it. so, okay, but like, why would they put a Masonic plaque at a residence? Like, this isn't a fancy house. This was never like a mansion. It's not on Main Street, USA. So it was never like, I mean, as far as I know, it was never like the general store or where you would go get your horses shoed. Like, this is just a normal house. Why would they put a Masonic plaque by the flagpole?
He must have been somebody important within the organization to wear it on his sleeve like that. Most don't.
Wow.
I did want to say, from people that don't know, Molly does have an awesome party house. She has the biggest yard, and she could throw the biggest outdoor shindig and like plenty of parking, plenty of space. You could really have a game there.
Party at Molly's house.
Yeah.
Listen, you and your wife are the only friends I have in Michigan. Well, no, I've got my Job's daughter friend. I'm trying to make friends. It's not easy as an adult to make friends. So perhaps once the party house is in full completion, and this is like the last room that is really, that needs stuff. Although, don't let that fool you, Chris. I need you to come over. I've got projects that I have, and I have cash. I'm always trying to do something, but this is kind of the last room, and I've sort of saved it to last because I think I want this room to be like really fun. And with the red shag, it's like, I don't want to go vampire or swingers. Like, what the hell do you do with red shag everywhere besides take out a loan and have it removed, which I'm not going to do. And I don't know where to get my horses shoed now. So it's going to be, I'll reveal it. We'll do another show and I will reveal my basement. But right now it's just like gray brick and red shag and some floral wallpaper and a drop ceiling. And I've got plans for it. It's going to be a pretty festive room. So it's going to be Randy's bedroom when he gets the fuck out of California. Hurry over.
You know what I just thought about since you asked Chris to do all of this stuff? Chris, you know it's kind of economically smart to be a Freemason, being that you can do my roofing for cheaper, Molly does painting for cheaper, I fix cars for cheaper. Is that like an incentive? Like, oh, I know this one judge, I know this cop, I know this roofer.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an advantage to rubbing elbows with certain people and getting a leg up or a better deal or something that others might not get for sure. There would definitely be some advantage in that, I would guess.
Gotcha. And Molly, you scared the shit out of me with your house. I'm not scared of anything except for ghosts, and you have about 6 or 7 there. That bride? That
Bro.
bride? I know she's in your basement.
This bride? Which bride?
Yeah. Pick one.
There's 2 brides. It's War of the... Oh, it's Bridezilla's. That's what it is. So this bride actually lived in the house.
See?
Because right after her wedding, because this picture was in the paper. And, I mean, she looks so haunting. I love her. I don't know who these people are. This was left by the former owner. Was it left by the owner before them? I don't know. There's nothing on the back of it. The frame wasn't especially old. This seems like a blown up photo. So I don't know. Maybe I need to like scan this and see if it's on the internet someplace. So I don't know who those people
seems
are.
Recent. I don't think they would have had photographs that big back then.
She looks like a nice, friendly ghost. Yes, she is. What I need to do is I need to call the old owner and be like, hey, in going through stuff, I found this wedding photo. And, it could be their parents or who knows. Like, it could be somebody. And it wasn't hanging on a wall. It was, like, tucked in the basement. between a bunch of like a metric shit ton of extra rolls of wallpaper just in case I need to wallpaper the neighborhood. I'm ready. But I don't know who they are. I wish everybody should write who people are on the back of it. As somebody who collects Victorian photographs, I want to know who these people are. But I actually have a theory. So I like to watch a lot of Forensic Files, and they can take a human skull. Let's look at my skull collection, shall we?
Okay.
They can take a skull and they can determine based off of the measurements of the skull, sorry to show you my crotch, what race you were and like how much tissue you would have, and they can flesh out a skull. Look at Randy.
Sorry, I'm a child. Please continue.
Randy and I had a nice friendly conversation about AIDS earlier, so that poor girl. Nobody Randy knew.
Context, phrasing.
It involves crying in a parking lot with a large looming neon clown over us. I wasn't crying. She was crying. She doesn't have AIDS, but it was a whole thing. You already have the skulls divided by race, though.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
You are just roasting the shit out of me tonight. I fucking love it. They're
All
not.
skulls matter.
But so, okay.
They
so
supposedly
we can do
had
that.
They supposedly had a computer program that could look at a fragment of a bone, like an X-ray of a fragment of a bone, even a blurry fragment, and it could tell you what sex, age, everything, nationality that person was just from a piece. And they said they had to tone it down because the computer was racist. I don't have any idea how they came to that conclusion, but yeah. But it was 99% accurate whenever checked against the known thing. It knew what the right one thing was, but they said, no, we can't. Because it was like identifying people who were trying to be women that were actually men. It could just look at a picture and go, that's a man, that's a skull. That's a man, that's a man. And no matter what you put on it, it can tell that it's a man. So they had to tone it down so it wouldn't be.
If you can take a skull and then all of a sudden on Forensic Files, they can show a picture of, a lady with hair and all this stuff, then I feel that at some point we'll be able to look at these Victorian photographs that I've collected, and based off of the facial features, that you can then say that you belong to this bloodline. Because I do see faces. I really love faces, and Victorian faces especially, because it was a very interesting time in the world and people went through a lot, and you can see that on their faces. And just to see, I just want to imagine that you could be able to find out who these people were related to, because sometimes I collect faces because I'm like, oh, that picture, that looks like my friend so-and-so, or that looks like so-and-so. And so I'll collect the faces that way. And I'm always looking for somebody that looked like me, but nobody did. So
sort of off-topic, older story that it was somewhat connected. It was like 2014, I think, is when the story came out that people were using facial recognition software to find women who worked in porn, and they were harassing them on Facebook and stuff. Did you ever hear about that story? It's kind of old, but
no.
So our level of facial recognition software is that strong that you can, it can look at an image that's very old or blurry or somebody with makeup on, and it can identify them through any number of pictures and say this is the actual person you're looking for.
That's wild. I mean, I could use it through I think Cal Gangs. I think one of the LAPD databases. I could put a picture of you robbing the liquor store in, and it would give me booking photos. But it wasn't super accurate. But I'm no doubt it's gotten much better. Pammy says, find a thermal camera to see if you've got some secret hidden areas, or you could also use it to ghost hunt. I'll do it. I will do it. I will buy the black candles. I will get the Ouija board. Like, I just am not scared by that stuff. Randy, why are you freaking out?
Because I am scared by that stuff.
Why?
I will pee on myself for free this time.
Lived in a true war zone. You still do. And like, so why you're worried about ghosties?
Oh yeah, ghosts. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Suck it up.
I live alone, so when I hear a bump in the night, it's either someone's coming to get me or someone's coming to get me.
Yeah.
But I'm lazy.
I am someone's coming to get me. I definitely am. I no Ouija. Okay, but the lady, Pammy, I don't know if you were here when I was saying I met this really amazing lady at this Wicked Bazaar that was like a Halloween spiritual kind of a festival thing. And she says that you can talk to spirits on a spirit board, though. And I don't know what the difference is between a Ouija board and a spirit board. I guess I'll have to ask her. I did ask her to be on the show next week. I hope so.
Who are you communicating with, though? Spirits or demons? Or
no.
Good question, Chris.
I don't know. I mean, I would just like feel bad. And she did say, get rid of everything in the house that belonged to the former people. But the house is a possession as well. Like the wallpaper, the toilet seat, like like at what point do you just like level it? And you're like, but this tree was already here and it's got the spirit of like, I'm not superstitious like that. I love the idea of it. It's so like fun to think that ghosts are all around and that like something spooky could happen and like, something just like goes by in the background. Like I love that kind of stuff. I grew up watching, relatively tame horror movies, and I love movie monsters, and all that fantasy stuff is so fun, but there's nothing to it, Randy. There's no freaking ghosts.
What do you think of the popular belief that's kind of spreading around that AI is actually communicating with demonic spirits?
Me or Molly?
Either one. What do you think of that idea?
I personally, no, I'm kind of joking with Molly. Like I had these two sisters who were just like Molly. They were these horror buffs, and they loved watching scary movies, and I couldn't stand it, especially living by myself. But to answer your question, Chris, the stuff they're doing with AI is friggin' insane, and everyone's like, they're going to be using AI to lie to us, which I think they will, but with the level of evil and stupidity we already have, you don't even need AI. You just need whatever news channel, and people are going to go with that. But
have you heard of... I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm done.
Have you heard of Jordy Rose and his D-Wave computer? That's supposed to be like the most powerful AI, and it has to be frozen down to like sub-zero temperatures, and then they just like pull the answer out of thin air according to them. That's their own words. So they're communicating with something and another. That's their stuff. That's what they say. Not what I say. Jordy Rose D-Wave. Look it up and check it out and see what you think. So there is a little bit of basis. Those people who say maybe we're using AI to communicate with spirits or the dead or demons or whatever. You just a way to communicate with somebody who's not actually here. I don't know how much I believe in that, but
super technology seems like magic to someone who hasn't. Like if I took my flat screen TV back to the 1100s and I had power, they'd be like, "Oh my God, there's people trapped inside of that black mirror." So maybe they're just way more advanced than we are, and we're like, "Oh, magic."
Why are all screens black?
Good
It
question.
used to be. It's a scrying mirror, which is also witchcrafty type thing. It's
What do you mean?
Notre
They
Dame
were
used to
always
look
dark.
into. Yeah, when Notre Dame used to make his predictions, he would look into a polished black stone that was like a mirror. It's called a scrying mirror. And so black mirror. And that's why all the screens are black. It's witchcrafty kind of thing.
It's the absence
TV
of light.
programming,
Need little lights inside of it, and you want it to be black otherwise. Circle of One says you need to get yourself an Atlantean quartz wand. Who are you? And open the portal above the Masonic plaque. Only
probably
if you
goes to
walk
some
through it.
smears party or something.
I think I hear disco. And then Chardar22 says, I'm with Randy. No, thank you. Black Mirror BLM. Come on. You guys are such fraidy cats. I did buy a whatchamacallit? What do you call it? A Ouija board. And I couldn't find it. It's probably underneath my pillow tonight. Ben is a special wizard. He is a special wizard. So I couldn't find my Ouija board that I bought. I don't know where it is. It's probably in the garage still because I haven't fully moved in yet. But I did find the little planchette, the little like, and this is it.
That's the Ouija board thingy?
Yeah, that's the thingy. And so you like go all around and it's like, and it's just made out of plastic. It's not like secret or anything. You guys I'll have my own seance here and you can live watch my snuff film.
Snuff film?
That the things are going to... I'll do the Ouija board with you, Molly. Yay, super biatch. We're going to have a seance. A real midget skull. It's a piece of plastic with some felt on the back, you tards.
Did they think that was a small person's skull?
It was a little pygmy from the...
No, it's our special wizard. I don't know. Like, the Freemason thing is like, I'm in a cool kids club. I just feel like it can be explained. Twisted Sister used to play with a Ouija board. Okay, would you play with yourself? Because I hear that everybody's like, oh my God, don't. Pammy's saying don't. And then I was told if it's a spirit board, you can talk to spirits. But like, what's the difference? Me and my friends, girls in high school, totally. But here's what I did. I would say, who should Tisha be in love with? And then I would spell out Josh Huber because he wasn't very popular at school. And then she was really nice to him after that. So I was like, okay, no, you didn't do it. Hell to the no. You guys are just so
Bullwinkle.
so superstitious.
Okay, but Molly, how would you explain how like so much great evil has been done recently and we all feel super heavy? And I'm not even talking about, I understand that we know things that happen, but you can also feel it, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I do think that there is something to intuition. I can just say as a girl, meeting men at a bar or something, like you get that stranger danger feeling. What the fuck was that? I'm not
just
kidding.
Want to be a part of the conversation.
I'm not kidding.
You have a robot down there with you? I heard it.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was like glasses tinkling, like a Cheers or something.
You heard it, right, Chris?
I am like shivering all over. My titties are hard as hell. What the hell? Chris, send your wife over right now. I'm scared. Tell her to bring her blankie. She's sleeping over. I don't even know. There's nothing glass over there. I'll show you where it was. You motherfuckers, you did this.
We heard it.
Yeah.
Okay, it came from right there.
Somebody's saying cheers.
And it literally sounded like two glasses clinking together.
We all heard it, Molly.
I have not been summoning the dead, Twisted Sister. I am just alive, and I live in a house, and it's an old house. But now you guys have me all freaked out. What the hell was that, though?
Told you not to mess around.
Yeah, Molly.
No. There's an explanation. There's probably just a fire in the wall or some shit. Well, that's what I thought the other day when I smelled the match being lit at 3 a.m. Unmistakable. I have a pretty good sense of smell. That's why I don't have any friends. But anyway, I was like somebody just lit a match in my house, and there wasn't any smell anywhere else. Find your local Michigan ghost hunting group to investigate. Told ya, don't mess around, Pammy. Hey, Chris, have you seen that guy with the paranormal investigations car that drives around town?
I've seen a few of them. Yeah.
I should call him. We should get him over here. We should do a show.
There's
even
a
the ghosts are telling. Ben says even the ghosts are telling you to drink more water. Listen, look how big this is, and I drank that much today. That's also as much as I've drank since 1984. But today, I'm on it. I don't feel thirsty. Tell the ghosts to make me thirsty. That's what. From what I know, the spirit board and Ouija board are the same thing. The Ouija board is just a brand name. Oh, okay. As the prophet Phil once said, I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Good reference.
I fucking love that you guys roast me, though. It does make me feel really happy. So does that mean I shouldn't just have this little thingy out?
Yeah, probably don't.
Dude, I'm not kidding. That was the sound of glass on glass. Oh, you know what I think it was? I don't know if I can bring the camera over. Okay. So, I don't want to ruin any surprises, but in that corner, so that's where I thought I heard it, right? And it's not whatchamacalliting. Come on. Well, it won't, but anyway, around the corner there, Randy, I do have a glass. Let me see if I can take this, how far I can take it. I do have some glass light fixtures there.
Yeah.
And hold on. And so I do have glass light fixtures there on the ground because they're going to be hung up where these nasty 80s things. I don't know if you can see what I'm even pointing at, but there's these nasty 80s hanging swag lights. And I am going to be doing something a lot more colorful and festive down here. And so I already bought the lamps and I put them together and they are there. And that's all it is. And I had an easel that I put on top of the lights because I'm an asshole. And I put an easel over there earlier and it's just kind of leaned up against it. And so that's all it is. The easel just slid. That's all it is.
Whatever you say.
It's called gravity. Okay. And that's all it is. Now let's get back to the roasting. You shouldn't play with the dead. You're going to get scared when they come get you. They're not coming to get me. That is totally explainable. I just put something on and balanced it on a piece of glass that was next to another piece of glass. It moved. They clanked. But I see something behind you. Listen, you motherfucker. Don't even pretend. All this behind me. Oh, this is behind me. That goes to the laundry room.
The curtain moved. I saw it. No,
if the ghosts want to come do my laundry, I am totally cool with that. The real gravity is dealing with the existence of haunted homes. You've been to this home. You know it's not haunted. This place is it just has a really nice feeling here. Like it's just it's a nice house. I'm not scared to be home.
I didn't get any bad vibes when I was there. And some places I have
sage to scare them away. Okay, super biatch. I did get some sage. I don't know what I'm doing though, but I talked to the lady that I'm hoping will be on my show next week, and she explained the sage and that you go left to right in doorways and start in the basement and work your way up and open the windows and let everything out. I don't know anything for anything, so if you want to come out and do a little sagey sage with me. All I know is that sage smells like shit, and I don't really want my house to smell like that. So I haven't done it. White sage.
For some insight.
Yeah, she gave me white sage, Twisted Sister. This is so funny. Here I thought that we were going to do like a serious expose on like the hidden Masonic shit, and now it's like turned into some like
ghost show
hunting adventures with my tits and a bunch of curse words. Inhale for 5 seconds, hold for 5, exhale for 500. Look, I know you're trying to kill me. Don't like. Then I got Palo Santo like wood sticks, and she says I'll have to keep lighting it. I don't know what I'm doing. She said get some white candles, get some pink candles, and I was like, a lot of what's going on is like around my Virgin Mary collection, and so thank you for the ghosts, Twisted Sister. But what I think is interesting is I had this idea when I bought the house. There were pictures of Jesus everywhere, crosses everywhere. This couple appeared to be very, 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 very religious, and they left a lot of it behind, which I thought was like kind of weird, because if you're super into something, wouldn't you take it with you? And then I thought, like, oh, what if the house, like they thought the house was haunted and these were just talismans that were like keeping them safe from like whatever was trying to kill them every night. And then when they decided to move, that they were just like, well, we can leave that shit there because we won't be needing it where we're going. Protect her, let her have all it, because every doorway has crosses like up in the door jamb and stuff. And I have this one. So there was like, it's not a bullet hole. It was probably like a rock from the lawnmower, but it took a nick out of one of the windows. And like, there was this like little Jesus that was covering it, because otherwise like airflow would just like come in. And so yeah, if your uninvited guests run you out of the house, Kent County Sheriff's Department is hiring in GR and you could move. I already tried to be a cop in Michigan and it didn't go very well. I was unemployed for 18 months and it wasn't a good time. So I don't know that they would hire my foul mouth and everything that comes with it. I need a sword made of pure silver, anointed in holy water. Yeah, could you just like FedEx me one? Thanks. So I think you guys are very superstitious. But what if the guy that lived here before was superstitious too? And that's why like this house is so full of crosses and everything. Now I collect Virgin Marys, but that's because I was a teenage goth girl. They have to have a very specific, like, dramatic pose. I don't collect all Virgin Marys, just some very specific ones. But that light does go on, turns on by itself. It's never turned off by itself, but it turns on by itself. And it's got a remote. But the remote is like, I haven't really used it. One, because by the time I walk into my bedroom, I'm asleep before my head hits the pillow. But it is the light above the Virgin Marys that turns on at night. But it's also my creature from the Black Lagoon bedroom. So, like, is it the creature coming to visit me? Randy, come on.
Why do we sleep in the first place?
Because I'm tired.
I know, but why? Why is it necessary for us to check out every day? Why do we need to go to this semi-conscious state and check out every day?
Because otherwise you'll go delirious. That's when you do your best healing. It's when your brain kind of like purges.
But why? Why is sleep necessary? Why do animals do it? Like it's kind of strange. Why do we need to check out what's going on while we're not there?
But it's just like you can't sprint across the savannah forever. Like you got to stop and rest. Like your body has to recoup. And so no different, doing leg day and not being able to sit on the toilet as like having to take a little nappy poo after a long day.
Well, whether you believe that we were designed by some creator or creators, or we just happen to, through the millennia, go from being a single-celled sludge in the primordial ooze to becoming a human being, or however you want to look at it, why would it be necessary to have sleep? Like what function? It's just kind of bizarre, however we came to be. Like, why was it necessary to have sleep? It's kind of a weird thing that most people don't even really think about, but do we enter the spirit world or another realm or something else alternatively? Does our brain connect with a alternative
no, it's just a time to just like purge thoughts. And sometimes so I've always been fascinated with people, and I used to get like these dream interpretation books, but they were garbage because if I had a dream that I was on a magazine cover, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I must be like famous. I must have done something great. And Randy would be like, oh my God, everybody was looking at me. I feel so terrible. So I don't think you could say that like, if you dream about a snail, it means like, what does it mean to you? But I think that sleep is just a necessary part of our physiology and our mental well-being, and I fully support it. I love to sleep. And you know what?
Oh, I do too.
I have dumped people before because they were like, let's talk, let's watch a movie. Like, I don't want to watch a movie. I want to be unconscious right now. I am tired. Like, come on, we never watch a movie. Like, I am going to sleep right now, and hopefully you're not here when I wake up, because I would rather dump you so I could go to sleep right now than have to fake watch a movie for 2 seconds.
The bar's pretty low.
I get tired. I can't even explain it to you. I am like knockout since I was a little kid. I would cry to my mom, please, I want to go to bed. She's like, it's 5 o'clock. You're not going to bed. You're never, you're going to wake up at 3 a.m. and keep me up. And then she would be like knocking on my skull at 11 a.m. Like, are you getting up? Like, please, I just want to sleep a little bit longer. I just need to sleep.
I think it goes back to what you said about you run a marathon, you got to take a break. Every single day, you basically run a mental marathon, all the stuff you go through for the entire day. Your brain needs a chill, your body needs a chill. I think after 3 days, you're like, it's nearly like you're drunk if you stay up for 3 days or 4 days.
You hallucinate. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
I used to have a Honda till I ran it into the back of somebody's Acura Legend because I just fell asleep driving. Do ghosts need sleep? Probably. They're probably sleeping right now. Oh, I put them to bed earlier. I read them a nice little book. But I worked 3 jobs in my 20s, and I didn't get any sleep for days. And I was night clubbing after work. So on the dance floor. So I'm driving to one of my jobs, and there was a billboard of like milk, and somebody was holding a glass of milk. And as I drove, this was northbound La Brea at sunset on the northeast corner. Randy knows what I'm talking about. And the motherfucker on the billboard cheersed me with his glass of milk. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was at the Goth Industrial Club, Control Factory, and there was a girl walking down the stairs, and all of a sudden she had a tray of hot dogs, and then she walked like behind some dude and then kept walking, and there was no more tray of hot dogs. Like, I just totally hallucinated a tray of hot dogs.
Well, I know when they do like the military training for like Navy SEALs and stuff like that, I always said the one part I guarantee I would fail is the sleep deprivation aspect of it, where they make you stay up for like 3 or 4 days constantly, and you have to, you know, be battle ready and sharp, and that's where a lot of people fail. And I was like, that's definitely where I would have failed it.
Yeah.
I've had some episodes in my life where I was up for a couple of days, and I remember the third day that I went to work, uncharacteristically, I went in there as edgy as could be, and I was literally spoiling for a fight, like straight up pure aggression, looking, you know, like, just say something stupid to me, please. Just like, it was just bizarre, and that's totally not who I am at all. And it can definitely change puts you in a primal mode pretty much.
I got sick. I was working a part-time job, so did LAPD, did my part-time job, did LAPD, did my part-time job. And it was like 4 days, and it was no sleep. Like, I'd have an hour or 2 hours between shifts, and I get home and got super sick. I said, I will never, ever just stay up for no reason ever again.
No Circle of One. She didn't even offer a hot dog. Molly living in the Matrix. Thanks, Pammy.
I think we all are. We all are.
I agree, Chris. It's a simulation.
Yeah.
You know, she got sued for that. You know, she sued whoever brother, I think the Wachowski brothers, for that.
Who did?
The lady who wrote it, about it being the Matrix or a simulation.
Mm-mm.
No.
I didn't know that.
I didn't hear anything about the lawsuit either. I know there was some issue with the brothers, and they kind of changed the story, and then they again changed it most recently. I said, oh, well, red pill isn't what you say it is, and no bullshit, we own it now. Red pill is what we mean it to mean, and whatever, you can give it, assign whatever definition you want to.
It's also for the manosphere, right? Like, it's not just for politics. Because a lot of the manosphere guys are using it.
Red pill?
Oh, yeah. Passport Bros, Red Pill.
The Masons aren't allowing me to join their club, but you think that the Manosphere guys are going to invite me? After all I've done to set you guys back, when I made an Instagram profile called I'd Rather Die Alone with screenshots from dating apps. No, Manosphere is not inviting me. Haven't got that invitation. Basically, the ghosts are going to be my only friends. Me and a bunch of dead brides wandering the hallways in our ball gowns. That's it.
I had another question for you, Chris. Cancel culture even canceled science because they were offended. How come they've never gone after the topic of today's show? How come they've never gone after the Freemasons?
Why, we never try to cancel them?
They've canceled jokes, cancel comedy, cancel Hollywood. How come they've never gone after Freemasons?
I don't know. They seem to be untouchable. If you look at somebody like Jimmy Kimmel, who's a kind of prominent out there Freemason and stuff, he's allowed to, roam into areas where most people would get in trouble, and you got to wonder why that is. He can do, edgy comedy that most other people would get them in a lot of hot water. So I don't know. They're sort of untouchable in that way, I guess. I don't think they. Although, speaking of canceling the Freemasons, some have speculated, and I kind of lean that way too, that what we are watching is sort of the slow motion dismantling of all that. And if you're familiar with Freemasonry, So they're slowly being kind of canceled, if you will. If you're familiar at all with Freemasonry, they have two towers or two pillars that stand for Freemasonry, Joachim and Boaz, or I'm probably screwing that name up, but you'll see them in most Masonic lodges. They're represented all over. And so in that line of thinking, like the Twin Towers sort of represented those two pillars. And so the destruction of the towers was like a signal that this is the beginning of the end for Masonry. And perhaps you might have heard of the, what is that called? The Samson option, which was, if you understand the whole Greek philosophy, he destroys tears down the pillars and destroys everything. And, if the way I was kind of reading it, if Israel falls, then Masonry will fall. Sort of, they're going to take Masonry with them. So,
they go hand in hand? Yes.
And so, if you see the sculpture that's outside of the fire department where I live, there's it's two towers kind of being destroyed in a way. If you look at it, it can kind of symbolize that. So I don't know if they're signaling that's what's going on or not, but I mean, they knew that it had an expiration date. Eventually it was going to have to end, and they'd have to rebrand and, start a new thing.
Well, Adam Carolla came to his defense, and I'm like, you guys don't agree on anything at all. So I'm like, and Adam Carolla is like a carpenter. I'm like, I'm wondering maybe he's a Freemason and he's defending his brother. So
carpenter is also carpenter Mason, same. Use the same tools.
Got you.
I use the same tools, and I'm just putting skulls in a basement.
Well, yeah.
I'm not in the club.
Well, there's Masons that don't know how to use a square and a compass, I can tell you right now, or a level or a plumb. They don't know how to build anything. So.
I mean, this place is really good. I mean, the man that did everything, he did a lot of built-ins. I'm not saying it's plumb or square. I haven't checked, but he was very fastidious and he had a lot of attention to detail. And I mean, this is a good house. It's gonna be standing here 100 years from now. Pammy says, remember the Georgia Guidestones? Wonder what it meant when they were destroyed. Well, no, didn't that one guy blow up one of the three of them, and so they decided it was unsafe. So then they just immediately took down the other two.
They said some guy planted a charge on it, but when I saw the destruction, what I saw was like a missile hit. Like something was flying and hit it, and that's what caused that kind of explosion to me. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what
Building 7 missile, or what are we talking here?
I don't know if it was a like a J dam or anything like that, but it was something that hit it. God damn it, what was I gonna say? I forgot.
Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, it was about the destruction of something like that can also symbolize, the people who built it might have intentionally destroyed it as a ritual, as part of to release whatever. That is something that they do.
Do you watch TV, Chris?
Very little. I watch very little TV. Most of what I watch is on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube.
They have lots of signs and symbols, and I spoke to some producers. They wink at each other, they'll show whatever, and it's not for us, it's for my fellow producer, and I'm trying to show him, you know what this is, don't you? And they're doing their little Illuminati signs and stuff like that. So
yeah, I see that stuff, but come on, I just feel I don't think I've ever taken a picture covering one eye, but if I did, it's not to send a message to Freemasons.
Well, there's probably a bunch of them that are just doing whatever the photographer asks them to do. So they'll pose in whatever way that the photographer says to. So
that's true.
Shot. And they'll take 100 shots, and that'll just be one of them. So I don't, but So I'm sure they implicate a lot of people
argument.
who aren't necessarily involved. They just get them to do that. Yeah, do the one eye thing. Yeah, sweet. All right, thanks.
Yeah, well, but I mean, there's only like so many poses that the human body has. I remember I got into an argument once with, it wasn't an argument, but this photographer wanted me to basically put like my hand under my chin and like hold it and just have my arms like floating in the air for like no reason. And I was like, I don't like, what am I doing? He's like, just pose like that. Like, this is stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
and so he took a couple of pictures of that, and he loved that pose for whatever reason. I'm like, I don't get it. But if he would have said cover one eye, I would have just been like, this doesn't make any sense, but I'll do it. Like, okay, like, ooh, whatever. Like, I don't know. I just think
it means something to them. Believe me, it's out. It wouldn't be out there as much as it is. You can't write it off as a coincidence anymore. It's just.
But you could say the same thing as like with a hand on a hip or whatever. Like, I think that people are just looking for too many symbols in the fucking clouds, and like the world isn't that fancy.
I put something up in the share thing. I don't know if you can share that, but it's a quote by Manly P. Hall, which is supposed to be the Freemason of the century. And this is what he said. I don't know if you want to read that because I'm a little bit dyslexic and I'll screw it up.
Grandma needs her glasses. Okay. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, is this like it's getting smaller now. I feel like this is more of a vision test than a quote. When the human race learns to read the language of the symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. They shall then know the truth. And more than that, they shall realize that from the beginning, truth has been in the world unrecognized, save by a small but gradually increasing number appointed by the lords of the dawn as ministers to the needs of human creatures struggling co-regain their consciousness of divinity. Was that all one sentence? I'm going to have to say C-, see me after class.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was the best quote that I could find that was readable. That was that one I was looking for. I tried in vain to find a better one.
I mean, I read it. Did I understand it? No, I did not. So what is it? What is it saying?
Well, like I said, this is Manly P. Hall, who was supposed to be Freemason of the century. And what he said was, and that was, the truth's been in your face all this time. It's been in symbols and signs. You just haven't recognized it because you don't know it. It's been there the whole time, but most people, it glances right off and they don't recognize it. But once you learn to see it, you cannot unsee it. I wish I didn't see it, and I see it everywhere. I watch old movies from the 70s and oh my God, it's everywhere. To me, it's not something that you can deny. It's beyond the realm of being a coincidence. It's their thing. It's their symbols. It's their way of communicating to each other. Now, I know this is just like a personal story of mine, but when I was a kid, getting ready for my booster shots, I think it was for elementary school right here in Holt, Michigan, because the first school I went to was Hawkins. But I went to go get my booster shots, and while I was in the waiting room, I was there with another little boy and his grandfather, and we were kind of talking, and he's looking at this Highlights magazine. I don't know if any of you remember that, but it had a lot of little symbolism and stuff in it. And his grandfather said, "Did you show him?" And he said, "No, I haven't." And the kid came over and he folded the page, and it made a new image. As you fold the page, it creates a different image. And he's looking at it, goes, "Oh, did you know that was there?" And I said, "No, I had no idea." And the old man looked at me and said, really intelligent people can communicate with each other without using words. He said that to me before I was in school, and I remember, I swear that happened. So, I mean, it's real. It's out there. They follow it. Whether you believe in it or not is irrelevant because they do. They believe it. So, and they follow it.
Okay, so what is the communication then? Like, because I remember the Mad magazine, like the back of it would be like, "Oh, ha ha ha! Look at it, it's a toilet, whatever." Like, and you would just like fold the thing, and it didn't.
Like I said, it depends on your level. What you will see or get out of that depends on your level of understanding, your level in the organization. A novice, initiate, and a master will look at it and see three different things, and so.
Well, Chris, one thing I always see, and it doesn't have to do anything. It's kind of like what you're talking about, but it's different. What I'm going to bring up. So, like the movie The Purge, this guy, he's got this American flag on his hat, and he's the bad guy, and he's standing over the good guy, and it's like, okay, that by itself is nothing. But then you got this pastor. He's got the Bible. He pulls away from it. You listen to the TV show The Last of Us. So he's the Christian. He's the pastor, and he's also a pedophile and a cannibal. Like he eats people. And it's like, oh, okay, I kind of see where you guys are going with this. Like it's conditioning through messaging. Oh, you're a patriot. You're Captain America. You're going to jail. It's just consistent. What you guys believe in is wrong and bad, and that's that secret message that they're pushing. So,
absolutely, they definitely use symbolism in all kinds of scenarios and movies to paint a picture, to kind of what you're saying there. Make one side look evil and the others, try to associate loosely these ideals with bad activities, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed every single disaster movie has burnt up cop cars? Like it's always a destroyed police car. If it's zombies, if it's the end of the world, there's always police cars.
They're first to go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Kung Fury. It's like the first scene when he takes the skateboard and the cop car goes flying. Kung Fury.
When they come for us, they're the law enforcement and ex-military are first on the agenda to get rid of. They're well organized. They're they will fight as a unit, so they got to go.
I thought it was the communist activists would be first to go. They got to get rid of them.
Once they have filled their role, then they're done, and they'll be lined up against the wall and shot. But only after we're past the crisis part. They're to bring us to crisis, and then once things settle down, we don't need you anymore. We don't
like the Cuomo brothers.
Like all of these guys who sided with whatever. Have you noticed they're all getting canceled? Like we no longer need you. You've done you've done your damage. Now you're done.
Yeah.
Very
Sometimes
interesting.
They're worth more, dead. Some people are worth more dead. It depends on who you are in the organization. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a certain religion.
So these brides died so they could make like a blip on a podcast in 2025. Is that what you're saying?
Who died?
So these ghosts, my ghosts.
Oh, okay.
They were like this beautiful bride that lived in this house so that they could die, so that they could just like tinkle some glass on a podcast in 2025. You guys. I can't wait to have more weird things happen. Weird how the Simpsons have predicted a lot of stuff. Yeah, Pammy, isn't that wild?
That groaning was definitely on the inside for sure. We definitely had an inside track to that stuff. And that's predictive programming there.
But I also just think they made so many jokes about wild things. It's sort of like that idea that if you put a monkey at a typewriter after a certain amount of time, Shakespeare will come out. Like, I don't know. Simpsons had 75 billion episodes and they made fun of all kinds of wild scenarios that could possibly happen. And a lot of them did. And I think if you just like threw a dart at one episode, one scene, you're not going to be like, oh my God, there it is. The sign that we were all waiting for.
I think you're revealing a lot more than you think.
It is inordinate. I will say that, but I don't know. I just am not a real big fan about that kind of stuff. I don't.
Did you see the Simpsons episode where Bart has to take Ritalin or whatever it's called, Focusin or whatever? He's required to by it. Yeah. He kind of loses his mind and hijacks a tank and then shoots it in the sky and shoots down one of Fox's satellites. And it's like just a satellite being held up by balloons. But, it's satire, but that's sort of reality.
But that's what I think is great going back to AI about AI is that AI just learns from us. And so no wonder with what we talk about on the internet and like what we share, that it's funnier than us because it's so raw. It's like that toddler that just says the most like raw, rip you apart shit because it doesn't have that filter of like, that's rude and you shouldn't say that. So for that, I think that AI is rad because it is allowed to be funnier than us. But then it tells little kids to kill themselves. So I don't know.
AI is so smart. I mean, AI is actually funny because it still deals with truth. And you can't, I say this all the time, you can't have art without truth. That's why comedy and entertainment friggin' sucks, because they push narrative and not. Would you send me, Molly, the world's wokest girl and the world's blackest black guy and the world's gayest gay guy? And it's funny, like the stuff we all grew up on from the 80s, like our comedians, not this goofy, whatever, pre-canned nonsense, like a Jimmy Kimmel stand-up.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel wasn't funny. But, you know, Dave Chappelle, he's raw and like he roasts and he's not afraid. I think like all the like corporate dudes, yeah, I mean, they just slurp the
new
company
Chappelle is
food.
not the old Chappelle. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh my God, you're one of
the
those.
same guy. I don't care. What anybody
Chris,
says.
come on.
Oh, you think he's a clone?
Shit, man.
I think he's like a doppelganger or something, or somebody that was really close enough to him, and they, you know, because if they own the persona, they can change the person out. That's not a problem. And come on, he was a full-grown man when he was doing Chappelle's show. You don't beef up that much, and your voice don't drop that much in a few years. I mean, that has got to be a different dude. That's why he never shows his neck anymore. Have you noticed all the old Chappelle's? There was a lot of neck. Now it's all collar because his shoulders are broad as mine. That dude got beefed up a lot.
Chris,
he was a full-grown man when he went to
Chris, I want to do a conspiracy theory show with you. Just all right. Conspiracy. Oh, no. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just, like, I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think Biden might be. I think Biden might have a double. Like, they said he's like 6'5" or something like that, or.
Yeah, I think a lot of prominent people could. Anybody that's out in the public figure like that, basically they own your persona. They own who you are supposed to be in the public eye.
The leadership in the Middle East, they always had doubles. The guy with the little mustache, he had a bunch of doubles. So
yeah,
it's not that crazy. I heard Lincoln had a double, some craziness like that. So
I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know.
Two people that fuck ugly. Lincoln was not a handsome man. That's wild.
He had a cool head.
All right, guys, we're at 2 hours. Let's let these people go night-night.
Oh, Molly, Sunday might be bad.
Thank you so much. What?
Sunday might be bad. I think I work Sunday.
Oh,
I just remembered. Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, when?
I will get back with you after the show.
Okay. All right, Super Biatch, thanks for exploiting the emotes in the chat. Those are some good ones. I like your sexy little witch there. That's pretty good.
Why are you doing the witch dance all the time?
That's some girl that's painted green that's slutty, so I'm looking at her. And I see that. I got some new ones in the chat today, and then I got these guys. Hated it. But thank you guys so much for coming and roasting me, and thank you everybody in the chat. And I will let's see if we can get the end stream. And good night, Randy. Love you guys. All right, let's see and play audio. So here is our custom outro by Ben McMillan. And if I don't see you next week, I guess I was killed by ghosts.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. It's a cookbook!
get you